got some options there. So what's happening? Not a lot happening. I feel like it's a little too early to start making MSG picks or even speculating on what they're going to do on New Year's Eve. I never know what they're going to do on New Year's Eve. Got my Scrooge eyebrows all locked and loaded for the live stream. I'd say we're good to go here. So, is it cold where you are? It's very cold here. But we're not here to talk about the weather. I don't know what the hell we're here to talk about, really. Usually, if I'm going live on a Monday afternoon, it's because I got absolutely nothing. I've done pretty good the last couple of months with no Phish. Either just like, hey, whatever. I just got nothing going on. So why even bother? But I still do think about it. Hey, what's happening? Ooh, looks like it's cold there, too. And then I guess there's nothing wrong with just waiting for the next Phish shows, but I do enjoy doing this, so I just wish I had something more for the in between times. That's all. I appreciate the people like Ja there and Spud and others that are channel members hanging in there. Se. Oh yeah, well, I was gonna say it's always cold in Maine, but that's not true. That's not true. I did not make mashed potatoes. Seemed to be a division on that. Some people are like, that's for mashed potatoes. Other people say it's a pastry cutter, which is kind of what Mary was trying to say in the video. Hey, what's up, Ninja Cat Matt? Hey, it's just Ninja Cat now. Did I throw the Matt in there? Have you always just been Ninja Cat, or is it Ninja Cat Matt? Or did I just somehow put the Matt in there that never existed? Yeah, I could. I just feel like I would be. I have nothing to help with the ticket situation, and yeah, I don't know. And I hate to see. Okay, it is Matt. Okay, so I'm not totally crazy. All right, now you could do both actually. Ja could use it as a pastry cutter or mashed potatoes. Or sometimes I hate pulling the hamburger apart if I'm going to make tacos or something. We got this other device. It's supposed to break up the hamburger for you. Yeah, you are Matt. Maybe I'm not sure how I thought. Maybe it's like I'm not sure, but I did know it was Matt. I'm not wrong. But then I just noticed your name just says Ninja Cat. Um, so either you've said your name was Matt, or sometimes there's two different names, like your screen name, and I don't know. But I'm glad I wasn't crazy. I thought I was just adding a word there that didn't exist, making up new words like affordability. It never was a word before. All right, I shouldn't even tip my toe into that stuff. Maybe I am. Maybe it just rolls off the tongue, Ninja Cat Matt. I haven't, I feel bad. I haven't checked out much of Tokyo Record Style lately. I always saw you in his live streams. There for a while, I was up so early every morning, and that's when he was live streaming. Haven't been catching him lately. What we got there? Man, for me, I don't know. I mean, I would pay, I guess, around for a Sphere ticket, for a regular show, like to go see Phish or King Gizzard or Billy Strings, that being bands that I really like to see, and I know I'm probably going to enjoy it. Gosh, I don't know, man. I wouldn't want to spend more than, like $100 is roughly the $100 is about the most I've ever spent on a music ticket. One time a scalper got me at Alpharetta a long time ago. And then these Columbus tickets this past year, I think for 2 tickets after fees and everything, it was like $204 or something. Now for the Sphere though, I might pay the $250. It just really sucks though, because then I'd like to take Mary. Obviously, I don't want to just go without her, but then I'm kind of like the Phish guy, and I'm dragging her into it. So I would pay for her ticket, obviously. So now we're talking $500. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, okay, yeah. See, now that I would maybe do for like a suite somewhere. 250's cool. But I don't know. And part of me was wondering the other day, is this gonna because this is, I know a lot of people want to blame Phish and like Phish should do something about this. And I maintain they have done something about this. For a band that's as in demand as they are playing at that venue, tickets could have been a lot more. I feel I've heard people say, like, out of all the bands that have played there, that theirs are the cheapest. And then really nobody's playing there. I know last time I said nobody's playing there, somebody gave me a list of like a dozen bands that have played there, but some of those bands weren't even bands. One of them was Def Leppard. I don't know how the hell that happened. And then, but nobody there other than maybe you two, probably more in demand than Phish somehow, some way. Oddly, Dead and Company, maybe even. I don't know. But, basically nobody's played at the Sphere. The place has been there 2.5 years, and about a dozen bands have played there. And one of those guys has like a laptop or something. No, it ain't even about that, man. I just going all the way to Vegas, and I don't know, man. It just doesn't seem worth it. Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought you were talking to me. It probably ain't going bankrupt anytime soon either. Yeah, no, it's like that's kind of their West Coast place there in Colorado, I suppose. But damn, man, if you live in Washington State, getting down to Vegas is a bit of a hike. I don't know. I just hate to see people like blaming the band. That seems a little misguided. I don't know. I'm sure they are doing their best to keep prices as low as they can everywhere they play. I mean, what do you want Trey to like? And it's just times are different. People want to compare it to like Grateful Dead's Mail Order, but times are so different. Like I couldn't even imagine the just like the attorneys that get involved and just all that nonsense that probably wasn't a thing. And yes, I know they did it with Fare Thee Well as well, but again, I think at a certain point, Phish wanted to downsize and make things smaller, and then some of that means turning all of our ticket stuff over. I don't know. I just don't think they want to hire an entire army of ticket people and attorneys and all that crap. I don't know. Hey, if you live in Denver, you're not doing so bad then, because they do seem to hit Denver about or not Denver, Colorado at least every year. Oh no! Anything to do with the weather? Like, was it because it was cold, or did it get wet, or anything, or it just happens? I don't know. Um, so I'll glad. The good news is they webcast all their shows, so we can all watch from home. But even that gets a little pricey, if you want to do them all. I don't know. Everything's just getting so expensive. It's not just Phish tickets. It's not just groceries. It's just everything. And I just had to thought, like, will Phish ever just be like, enough? We want out of this ever growing expensive world. We don't want to be doing this to our fans. We don't want Kevin and his wife to have to spend $200 on tickets to come see us in Columbus. But that's just the way it is now. I don't know. I just sort of wonder if just the increase in pricing across the board and all facets of life will ever just get them to be like, that's it, we're done. We don't want to just continue. We can't find out a way to like sell our fans cheap tickets, just like the system won't allow that. Mostly talking out of my ass here. I don't know. Because they don't seem like they're probably real thrilled. It's not like they're looking at their bank accounts when all these Sphere tickets go on sale. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, and as someone pointed out, they probably have a deal in place. The Sphere pays them. And then the Sphere and Ticketmaster and all this is like, hey, we'll deal with the tickets. You know what I mean? Like, they get an upfront fee for paying there. And then the tickets and all this is just something over here, which is probably true. I know people don't like it when I talk about them retiring, but this is just yet another variable. I've always thought, well, hey, they're going to want to go out on top. They're getting older. And now you just throw this into the mix. And they've spoken about it. I don't just bring up retirement talk. They've brought it up in the past, in the kind of somewhat recent past. Of course, I forget, last time we went through all of this, someone was able to pull up when and where, exactly who said what, when and where. Yeah, me too. I'm glad I got me a house when I got me a house. I don't love my house. In fact, I really hate my house, to be honest with you. I guess you're supposed to love your house, people say. I don't. I just wanted a house, man. And this is what I got. I wanted something small, 2 bedrooms. It's amazing how few 2-bedroom homes there are out there. Yeah, and you're right. Trey will probably be one of these guys that dies on stage, essentially. He'll be like a Gordon Lightfoot character. But Phish as a band may just be like, guys, we just gotta. I don't. They're. I guess they're. I like maybe an old conversation used to be, will they reach like the stadium level someday? You know, will they be playing RFK? Well, not RFK. It's not around anymore. But Giant Stadium. Oh yeah, it's not around anymore either. All these stadiums like the Dead used to play. That used to be a conversation. Will Phish reach that point? And it doesn't seem like it. No, obviously now, obviously no, they're not gonna. MSG's pretty damn big, 20,000 plus. They can do 4 nights there every year, no problem. Multiple times a year, even they've proven they can do that. But I don't know if they're doing 80,000 seat football stadiums anytime soon. Maybe I was gonna say maybe they're like going away festival. It does seem like when this all wraps up, it'll be a festival. Hey, what's up, Steely Matt? That could possibly back-to-back Matts. They couldn't even sell out Folsom. Yeah, there you go. I don't even remember if they sold out Wrigley. Not sure. But again, that's a smaller old baseball stadium. So yeah, Mr. Desbot, but then they're gonna want to do the final festival in like Vermont or Maine or somewhere way up there in the corner, right? Not exactly. I don't know. I just couldn't see them doing it in New York. Like wherever the Giants play now, the Jets. Is that technically in Jersey? I forget. I forget how that works. I just couldn't see them doing that or even going. I don't know. Yeah, that's possible. An old torn, rundown or not rundown or torn down and abandoned and no longer in use Air Force Base. I know. I've kind of wondered that with Phish too. That's all. I'm like, wonder how many fans do they have? When they sell out arenas across the country, it would appear they have a lot of fans. But similar to Dave and the Dead and others, a lot of it's at least out. Well, maybe not so much anymore. I don't know. MetLife. Thank you. I keep wanting to call it Giant Stadium. And is it technically in Jersey? Or am I wrong about that too? Maybe Twiddle will come back and save us all. Twiddle sure as hell can't charge $250 a show. That's for sure. I don't know. I'm listening to a little bit of 102994. That was that was a member recommended show. Can't recall which member. Wally P, somebody perhaps. Yeah, okay, it is in Jersey. You're right, the 3 night, you're right, they do. It's true. 100,000 fans? How many people like consider themselves Phish fans? Like the type that like a new album comes out, they're listening to it on day one. If Phish comes to their town, they're buying a ticket. How many of those fans are there? 100,000 maybe? Is that too many? I don't know. It's hard to judge based on my own YouTube as well. Like I know sometimes consistently Phish fans are loyal, but then occasionally, like if a college football video pops off or something, it definitely the amount of people that'll watch it will dwarf a big Phish video. But then you're also dealing with two teams, like say, Alabama beats Ohio State. That's two gigantic fan bases. It's not like I'm doing a recap of like a Phish and I don't know who, Grateful Dead or something together. I don't know. Hey, what's up, Brian? Doing a whole lot of talking out of my ass in this video, really. I just didn't have much to say or do. I'm not very good at like capturing YouTube videos out there in the world. And then every now and then maybe I have an idea for a video, but it's like, I can't really execute that. And even some of these just like sit down and talk videos. Maybe I could consider some editing, like the neighborhood video. Like someone even pointed out, they didn't say the first 7 minutes of this are boring, but they basically were like, the last 7 minutes of this are hilarious. And even kind of rewatching it, I'm like, yeah, this beginning is kind of boring. Like I didn't get to anything kind of funny or interesting until like halfway through the video. And the most people are not going to make it that far. They're not going to sit through 7 minutes of anything, let alone 7 minutes of boring stuff. So even when I have a decent idea, maybe I could like kind of tighten it up a little bit. Maybe I didn't need so much on old Marjorie. Nah, they're sleeping right now. I guess it kind of depends, Ja. Like, I do feel like somewhere post 2020, starting in 2021, I felt, at least for me anyhow, I felt like a new influx of fans who were new to the band and were younger. Like, that's one thing through this channel. I'm like, I've never had dealt with a lot of young people being fans occasionally, but I feel like now more so than ever, I have more fans like that are 25 and under. And so that tells me Phish probably has more fans. I don't know. But then that seems to have cooled off. I haven't, like, nobody new has popped up in the last 6 months or whatever. Or maybe this summer. I don't know. But I do feel like maybe around 2021, there was like a new wave of fans for some reason. Not sure why exactly that is. Not sure. Maybe there was a little bit of, I don't know. There you go, Grateful Wooks. Are you somewhat new, or have you been a fan for a long time? Big Fig Wasp. And then again, now that's something new in the last couple of years. People with names like Big Fig Wasp showing up. Okay, so this guy said the Gamehenge New Year's Eve. Russell says New Year's Eve Gamehenge kind of revitalized him, rejuvenated him going back to shows. Interesting. Maybe. Maybe the pandemic kids are like the Touch of Grey kids. Possibly. Did the Dead get a big influx after Touch of Grey? I guess that would make sense. Um, hmm. It might have been around. I think the very. I was gonna say I can't say. I probably would wrong. Say the first time I heard of or heard the Dead, but oh, okay, that's an interesting way to get into them. Interesting. They were playing Phish over the PA at a Billy show. That's how he got into them. That's pretty cool. I got into King Gizzard through Trey, but I did not get into Billy through Trey. Okay, so you've been going to see this type of music. All right, all right. Oh no. You're going to use horn in a TikTok video. Sometimes it does. That's all it takes, man. God, could you imagine if somehow, some way, they had a song that fit into Stranger Things or something? Oh, Lord. You'd have to revive Cream Puff to get me out of my cave. Touch of COVID. That's a good one. I like that. Um, I'm wondering maybe if some older fans had just like found themselves with nothing to do during 2020 got back into Phish at all. They were doing those dinner to movies. Yeah, no, you're right. They have been, Brian. Usually on Fox. I think there's a dude there that's a big fan. Yeah, he plays a lot of cool music. It's usually on Fox. Now, I haven't noticed it on the other channels, but possibly there too. Oh, wow. I know they played some Pipe Eye earlier this year. That's one of the guys from King Gizzard. And somebody was asking me, like, do you know who that was that they played at Set Break or whatever? And then another time, remember Fare Thee Well? I think it was at Set Break or before or after shows. They were playing some really cool music that a lot of people were interested in. Might have ended up being some kind of Corey Wong project. Not sure about that. You guys remember that? Do you remember the Set Break music at Fare Thee Well or pre-show or something? I just remember it was cool and a lot of people were into it. And then yeah, last year when Phish was playing Pipe Eye, Cookie's band from King Gizzard, that got a lot of people interested. Oh wow, cool. That's interesting. You were into them in high school, and then you got back into them during a cold Wisconsin winter. Yep, yep. I think it's the same dude a long time ago, Brian. God, like a long time ago when I first started doing this and I was doing all kinds of sports reactions and stuff. Somebody from Fox reached out to me and they wanted me to do a segment on their Fox morning show. It was when the Browns lost to the Ravens on a blocked field goal that the Ravens returned for a touchdown. And we emailed back and forth a little bit. I almost thought I was being trolled at first. And then I remember looking into the guy and being like, I found his Facebook or his LinkedIn or something, and he looked like he was at a festival with a Disco Biscuit shirt on. I was like, all right, this guy's legit. He probably saw one of my Phish videos, and he's a segment producer, and they want to get a reaction from a Browns fan. But it was a wild video, man. I mean, I talked about wanting a revolver to shoot up my monitor. I talked about hiring a dominatrix instead of watching the Browns. I'm like, what do they want to talk to me about, you know? There was some language, some profanity. Well, it all became moot, as they say, because that Thursday night, that son of a bitch Aaron Rodgers threw a Hail Mary at the end to beat Detroit or something. One of Aaron Rodgers' multiple Hail Mary endings. So I was staying in contact with the guy throughout the week. And then if I'm not mistaken, after like Thursday morning or Wednesday sometime, I never heard back from him ever again. And I obviously never appeared on Fox. No way, American English, Brent. That's crazy. But people, what is up with Turkey doing the hair, man? I know a lot of athletes go over to Turkey to get their hair done. I don't know. I was so scared and nervous to do it. I kept saying yes, 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 yes. I'll do it. I'll do it. Yeah. But I gotta say, I was really scared, man. I might have got on the air with Bradshaw and totally been like, I love turtles. I don't know what was gonna happen, man. But I also think that this guy, it was maybe like SNL, like you pitch some sketches. And his idea that week as a segment producer was like, we'll get this Browns fan. He had this reaction video. That one got a lot, actually for me, it got a lot of views. You know, it wasn't no million views or anything, but I don't know, 50 or 60,000 views in a couple of days in the football world. And, but yeah, I was rolling with it and everything. I was even trying to figure out, because I didn't have any like DVR system or anything. I wanted to be able to like record myself on TV, you know? I don't know. But most likely the segment producer, once it got to like whatever, their meeting to be like, all right, what do you got this week? What do you got? What do you got? He was like, well, I got this guy on YouTube talking about a dominatrix. They didn't fire him. He still works there. Seems like he's just in charge of music now, though. Oh, I see some dogs in a pile chat over there. I feel like I've told that story a lot, but I mean, that was very cool. For something that never even happened, that was very cool. I did end up in an MTV2 commercial one time, though. There was something called the Fan Awards on MTV2. And then they just did like a montage of fans going crazy. For me, they caught me during like a Cavs game doing this or something in a video, like just doing a reaction or something, you know. I was in the commercial for 1, maybe 2 seconds. Yeah, I got paid for it though. I think $100, $150. I eventually got a check from Paramount. I was like, look at that. That's a real check from a real company that makes movies and stuff. It's kind of cool. Took forever, dude. Took like 3 months to get that damn check. And then, that's where a Phish fan came through with me. They sent me this big, long email, like a legal shit that I had to sign. And I was like, what is all of this? I didn't know what it was. I was like, I don't want to just like sign away my name, image, and likeness or something, or my YouTube channel. What am I agreeing to here? So a Phish fan that I know that I met through this isn't an attorney. He's an attorney. He does a lot of divorces and stuff. But he was like, yeah, I could take a look at that for sure. And he looked at it. He was like, no, this is like, look, if somehow they wanted to stick your face on a t-shirt or something, they would be allowed to, you know. I don't know. It was just basically like, no. But they do kind of own this video now, he said. Basically, anything they want to do with this video, they can. You're giving them the right to do whatever they want with this video. They're saying they're just going to use it in this commercial. But if they want, they could put you in an episode of Beavis and Butthead, and there's nothing you can do about it, and you won't get a dime beyond that $150. Something like that it went. I don't know. I was like, well, that sounds cool to me. Even the Beavis and Butthead thing, I think that was his example. Oh wow, that's kind of cool, Ninja Cat. Hey, what's up, Silas? Now, if dogs, I'm sure, look, since I've discovered dogs in a pile, they probably have come through this neck of the woods. Um, that's one I'd probably get away with going by myself too. I don't think Mary would have any interest in going and see dogs in a pile. But I know, real bummer about Rob Reiner, huh? I don't know if there is a foam dance. Spud claims there's a foam dance, but I think that's just Spud's foam dance. Like he does it, but that doesn't mean there's a foam dance. Hey, why not, Paul? Me neither. We're not really talking about much. Let's see, we went over the ticket thing. I don't know. I got no answers. I don't like to see people blaming Phish, though, when I do feel like Phish is trying to keep their tickets as low as possible. And then will Phish ever just throw their hands up in the air and be like, look, we can't do it in this ever growing, more expensive world. We're out. We don't want to do this to our fans. Roll Tide. Yeah, good luck in the playoffs. I was glad to see they made it in this year. They got jammed up a little bit last year. And then even with the three losses, I guess you could say they had nobody to blame but themselves this year, but they should have got in. And now that we're seeing these little teams make it, I don't know, man. I don't know if these little teams deserve it. I mean, it's just Tulane or James. I hope James Madison beats Oregon, but I don't think they got a chance. What happened here? Did I lose my hair thing? Where'd it go? Yeah, it's going to be right. It's going to be expensive. Like we want them to play there, and I think they got better after playing there last time. And Trey or Mike or one of them did say like there's a few little things that we've taken away from here. Like they had to do some things differently. Just the plexiglass around the drums, for example. Like some things they had to do differently at the Sphere. I don't know what they are, but I know Trey or Mike one was like some of these things that we had to do to adjust to the venue. We can now take away with us like you saw Mike, basically Mike's just up there on stage now, just him and a pair of underwear and a bass guitar. So little subtle changes that are noticeable, but it's hard to deny that after like post 2024 Spear 23, whenever they played there last, they've definitely gotten better, right? Um, I don't know. Like I just didn't think they were at a stage in their career where their live shows would be improving. Even Evolve was a pretty good album when it was all said and done. I didn't like it when it came out, of course. I never like anything when it comes out, it seems. But yeah, I think Evolve ended up being much better, like one of their best albums, like post Farmhouse, also post Sphere. Um, yeah, and just their live shows, 24 and 25 were such great years. 21 was a great year. I mean, it's just amazing this late in their career. I know a lot of people seem to think that I'm like a hater and I don't even like the band because I don't like Horn and everything's right, but it's just incredible what they've been doing since 2021, really. Um 98, 27 and 98 best Phish ever. You mean you went to 27 shows? I'm not sure what you mean there. Yeah, obviously the 90s were awesome as well. I'm not saying like they're at an all-time best. I'm just saying like they should be at like nearly an all-time low, really. Most bands that have been around 40 plus years aren't cranking out some of their best years. I don't know. Not sure. Yeah, I know, Brian. It is weird. And yeah, and I've had people say so many different things to me over the years from like just shut up, don't even give your opinions. Nobody should. Not that it's me. Like some people are like you personally should shut up, and then other people are like all you people should just shut up. All you people commenting on shows and albums after they happen should shut up. It's like, well, how much fun would that be? And I maintain Phish would be super depressed if they played a show and nobody talked about it. You imagine how horrible that would be for them at this point? They'd be like, well, did they even like us? I mean, people out there, I guess, night to night, they'd be, but they wouldn't be they wouldn't have the same crowd size. Like if just Phish played their shows and no one talked about them, they wouldn't be where they're at today. They wouldn't be playing all these years later. I don't think. I don't know. Maybe. They wouldn't be doing 4 nights at MSG, okay? You need me and Wook Plus on this bitch, all right? .net has been very important to the career of Phish. Even Fantasy Tour has been important to the career of Phish. Call me crazy, but I think all this internet banner is a big deal. And even the people that are the fluffers that just love every single second of every song, every note they've ever played is magical, according to some fans. I know, right, Mr. Desbot? That's why it blew me away when recently Trey was like shocked in 2004 when he got some backlash. He was like, I didn't know. Like, he didn't, what do you mean you didn't know? He's like, he didn't know that his fans were on the internet. It's like, dude, they've been on the internet since, I can't say since the very beginning, but very, very early in Phish's career. The internet was a part of their whole thing. I was just blown away that he was like, maybe nobody had been mad at him before. Maybe. I don't know. At this level. I don't know. '98 is about when I had definitely heard of Phish by then and had heard some shows, a live one and whatnot. Yeah. Yeah, it's just weird. That recent podcast, he was just sort of like, yeah, you're right. He does. I think our fans get online and talk about how it was a bad show or something. You're right. Maybe it was just the amount of backlash. Maybe he just wasn't used to like women standing on a bridge 3 states away cussing him out like that one lady did. That's still my favorite part of the breakup. That lady cussing Trey out from a bridge several states away. I think she was like pointing and shouting in the direction of Coventry, at least. A lot of F-bombs. I keep falling behind on the chat real far. Okay, Pete remembers that. I'm sure a lot of you guys remember that. Ah, good deal. What's that say? Creator something 6942. Oh, that's a good deal. See, another somewhat new fan. And it's also like for a long time, I felt like a new fan. You know, when I really started going to shows in '03, yeah, I was usually surrounded by people who had been seeing them forever. I feel like there was quite a few new people in '03. I don't know. I guess there's always going to be some. There's going to be some kid out there. When do you start listening to this? I guess it varies. Like young Silas started listening much earlier than high school age. Like a lot of people start listening, I don't know, in their teens, I suppose. So there's always going to be some teenager out there discovering them, I suppose. The Grateful Dead used to be a nice gateway. I wonder if fewer people are discovering the Grateful Dead, though. Has anybody been like a big Goose fan and then started liking Phish? I don't know. I'd hate to give Goose any credit. King Gizzard fans don't seem to be taken to Phish. Now, Phish fans took to King Gizzard because, you know, we just like good music. I don't know what King Gizzard fans are there for. If they claim they like good music, well, then what's their beef with Phish? Little age discrimination, maybe. I don't know. Some of these King Gizzard fans, I'm not really, we don't really jive, you know. They're just not in my world. I'm not in theirs. I don't know. It's weird. It's just a whole different mentality or something. I don't know what it is. Music fans, sure. Interesting group though, because they seem to tolerate and like it all, whether if it's the all the synth stuff, or if it's heavy metal, or if it's more like a classic rock, or if it's jammy. I don't know. I'll say that for them. They seem to appreciate and like it all. I don't know. It's weird. Let Phish play Magma though, and they'd hate it. Okay, well, I've said way too much. I don't understand what keeps happening to the chat. Yeah, it's weird, right? There's like you're right, there's some animosity. Is it a little gatekeeping, like they liked it when, you know, there was 900 fans at the shows, which I never understand. Like, I don't get the gatekeeping thing. Why do you want your favorite band to stay at this small level? It's obviously very selfish. Like maybe your band wants to get big. Now, if that's all your band ever wants is just to play clubs for 900 people, cool. But clearly, King Gizzard's wanting to take over the world, take over the entire music industry. You know, they are definitely slamming their fist on the table, and we're like, we're going to do this thing our way, and it's going to work. So I think they wanted bigger, bigger, bigger. That's why at one point from stage, Stu said, "Thank you, Trey. Thank you for all the new fans." I don't know. Gatekeepers are the worst, though. I think we've all figured that out a while ago. The gatekeepers are somewhat selfish. I've always tried, like occasionally I might, goof on a new fan, but I've always tried to be really welcoming and accepting of new fans. I don't want to make them feel like they're not in the club. I remember what it was like trying to jump onto a Phish message board in '03, and I was like a new fan. It's like people just treated you like you were a disease. All right, boom. I've run out of things to say, apparently. At the beginning of this, I was like, I got nothing to say. Now at the end of this, once again, I got nothing to say. Boom. Nice seeing you, Silas. Hopefully it's not freezing cold, although it's warming up. It's like 20 degrees here today. Much nicer. I think we might have gotten below zero in the last couple days. We definitely hovered right there around 1. Kept looking at my phone a lot. What's the temperature? 1. All right. Boom. You're the man too as well. I know one of the very first video I did, I was like, this is risky, but I'm putting a link on PT. They liked it. Those people don't like anything. Boom. Have a good day. Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Quite a few people hung around and chatted this time. Boom. Pat. Nolan.